What up, folks? I am Ultrazilla, and today I have a review of the Hiya Toys Godzilla, King of the Monsters. I got mine from Big Bad Toy Store. Yep, I waited till they got theirs to get my hands on this because I just really had no interest in shipping this early and paying more money. I don't know. Me, with the Hiya stuff, I'm just not interested in paying any more money than I need to with their stuff. So, not that they don't put out good stuff, I don't know. I got reasons. There's reasons, guys. There is reasons. And after doing the Heat Ray Godzilla, which is basically this, I'm not super excited to do this. So, I'll fully admit it. It's got some hurdles to leap over now, even though I've heard great things. It's an upgraded version of the 2021. That's cool because the 2021 was my best of the year last year, so that should be good, but I don't know. There's part of me that's a little bored already. There's part of me that's a little over it already. There's part of me that's down on the whole community and how they are treating this versus other lines. And I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it right now. But we got a job to do. We're going to check out the product and we're going to see how it is based on the product itself. So, hopefully. Without further ado, let's get to that review. And here is Godzilla out of the packaging. And I don't know. It's fine. It's good. It's more bold, I guess, than the original, but it's also a lot stiffer. And like I said, I think the luster is wearing off on me a bit on this stuff. It's a good figure, but I'm starting to kind of feel that, they are a little bit bigger, a little bit more expensive NECA. And no figure has made me feel that more than this particular one because he's very stiff. And, there's ways around that, right? But I guess let's do articulation. Foot moves like so. As you can see, pretty stiff. Knees have a double joint, move like so. Legs come outwards. Not so bad. Not so bad. Tail has some nice articulation points, as you would expect. So, that's pretty good. Then the upper body joint is like the Heat Ray, where these two pieces butt up against each other, unless you're moving it super forward, and even then, it, touches. Oh, yeah. So, whatever they did when they realigned this guy, I don't like. It's just normal stance does that, where it's just kind of overlapping. I don't dig that. And you're not getting a ton of range of motion in it anyway, so I don't know. Shoulders, very, very tight. The elbows move like so. The wrists move like so. And then they have the neck joint. There's a long barbell joint here, as we learned with the Heat Ray. And you could look up, you can look down, you can move around. The mouth opens, and the tongue articulates as well. So, the articulation is good, and the head feels weird to me. Because now that I know if any sort of, popping out of this head happens, getting it back in is just going to be annoying. You do have floating pieces here that are soft plastic. These are the new pieces, the new jaw. These pieces, they changed this. Obviously, whatever happened here. And the paint is, a lot more saturated with those kind of like pinkish colors. You know what I'm saying? Those beigeish pinkish colors. But yeah, that's the articulation. Well, we're going to go through it a little more finely now. So, starting with the head. Let's see, the shape of the head is pretty good. They did change the head. It's a little bit different up here, more smoothed out. The jaw doesn't have that little hole anymore. but it is a little bit thinner, and I'm not loving how it kind of goes inwards a little bit. It's fine, but it could be a little bit better. The teeth, they're alright. I don't know. They're painted okay. The eyes, that eye looks decent. That eye looks sort of decent. But when you look at it from the front, this eye might be a tad off, but it's hard to tell. Like, I don't know. I'm zoomed super in, and it's hard to tell. And with the naked eye, you can't really tell. I'm going to say it's fine. The rest of the head sculpt is pretty good. A lot of detail, of course. Paint looks good throughout. Like, when his mouth is closed, it looks pretty good. And then when I open his mouth, I feel like the teeth don't look as good, but yeah. Inside of the mouth looks pretty good, though. That's for sure. Tongue looks decent. All of that looks good. Then the neck joints, the new pieces, they look decent enough. They look pretty good. You see the gills a lot better than the old one. So I like it. Again, that paint is very, coming through. That wash that they did on this guy is pretty good. Now, the dorsal fins look pretty decent. I like this new piece. It's good. Very nicely done. No complaints here. It looks very, very good. Let's just go all the way down the dorsal fins to the tail. Tail looks good. Once you get past the head, I mean, it's, as long as you like the paint job, the sculpt is obviously going to be good. The sculpt is good. And, depending on how much you like the level of paint between the joints, he looks a little raw, I gotta say. Like, there's something wrong, almost. I feel like they overdid it on that beigeish pink showing through the gray. Like, I feel like it's, like, too much skin. It reminds me, it's too, like, elephantine. Like, the sculpt, again, is really great, but, yeah, the paint, I feel like it's just overdone. And it's, it's kind of like how I felt about a lot of the NECAs. Just because you can paint something a ton, sometimes it doesn't mean like you should. Because, there's some things that are not painted enough. Like, I complain about, like, my Transformers like that. But then sometimes, less is more, too. Sometimes it doesn't achieve the desired effects. Like, this chest kind of looks a little messy. Like, I wouldn't have put paint, like, on some of these plates. In between, yes, but, like, I feel like that's just too much. I feel like that color wouldn't be on some of these plates. Whether it is, completely accurate or not. I'm just saying, as a toy aesthetic, I don't know if I would have done that, because that, to me, feels like meat. The meat underneath the plates. And, when you put it over the plates, it kind of just takes away what you're trying to do. So I don't think I would have, gotten away from doing that. Like I said, less is more sometimes. It doesn't need to be everywhere. Sculpt looks good, obviously, And for the most part, it enhances it. There's some, darker washes you can tell as well, mixed in. So yeah, it's good. I mean, the proportions are good, obviously. The nails look good. I didn't really say that. Not really anything going on the hands. Like, kind of non-existent. But yeah, if this is your first of these, and I know a lot of folks it is, this is perfectly fine. But, so I feel like it's just overdone a little bit. And the feel of it, isn't as good as it was. Or just, I don't know, like I said, maybe I'm just kind of feeling over it. But it's a fine figure. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it's not giving me that thing that the first initial one did. And here now is that first initial one. And you know, I picked it up and I knew exactly what I was talking about. Like, I felt it. Like, I picked this guy up and I like how he feels. I like how he moves. You know, he feels very fluid, and I feel like I could get him in way more cooler poses, you know, than this guy. And maybe with a lot of heat, this guy will feel that way, but I feel like it just doesn't feel the same, you know? Like, something about the plastic here just feels better. And I don't know if they made a change there, but there's something about it that this one that I like, and I know people don't like this. And yeah, they could have used probably one more, but then when you do put that one more piece, you get a much more stiffer head, and a lot easier for this head to pop out of the ball joint because you're trying to move it more. This works for me. I do like, you know, how these parts here look on the new one. You know, like there is a little bit here that could be better. Like this is moved up. See, they put this one far back, but it's a different, you know, it's a different Godzilla. So I'll give it that. But it's basically the same Godzilla. You know what I'm saying? It's the same, but it's different. The changes between movies aren't so like drastic, but the paint job is just so much better. I mean, like, there's no doubt about it. The old one, the paint is just way better to me. I just like it so much more. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, the grays just look really good. It's highlighted really well. So these things, the jaw thing, it just doesn't bother me as much. You know, and there's so much more pink in the mouth here that's creating that illusion that I was talking about with the jaw. But obviously, but the jaw it goes in more. It's like scrunched. You know what I'm saying? Let's zoom in there because I just want to illustrate what I'm talking about here so people don't think I'm nuts. Obviously, when they redid the jaw, they had to do something here. So what they did, looks like, is they added the pins in here on the inside, and it made the jaw come in more. Here, because they just have the one pin going in, they're able to move up. They were able to just make it more, like, nicely smooth it out. So that little pin thing is not a bother, especially since they sculpted that pin. You know? Gosh, fans complain like so much that, you know, to appease people, I feel like they kind of went in, tried to make things better. I think better for some folks, but overall, I don't think it's better. I don't. I think the original 2021 here, in every way, you know, I mean, feels better to me as a figure. That's just my thought. And here it is with the heat ray version, and I swear this is how I found it, and this is how I will do it because I can't deal with this head anymore. Yeah, this one's no good. Sorry, no good. And here it is with the other Hiya Kaiju with Kong and Rodan and Mothra. And I gotta tell you guys, as a little, you know, ahead of the best of the year coming, you know, in a few months, like the only one that has a shot right now at making my best of the year from this year's batch of Hiya stuff, and Kong was from last year, he didn't make my tops, is Mothra. Like, I had problems with Rodan, and obviously the two Godzillas I'm not enamored with. So, you know, there's another Godzilla, you know, out now overseas. The burning version of this is out now. And will we get more before the end of the year? Possibly. They're starting to crank them out a little bit faster now. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, because the results haven't been as good. I just gotta tell you. But Mothra is pretty good. So Mothra has a good shot. And my final thoughts, well, I gotta say, I'm just not enamored with this. It's fine. It's really fine if you didn't get the 2021 and you really had a problem with the issues with the 2021, but once you have them in hand, I feel like a lot of folks, if you have both of them, will understand what I'm talking about. It just doesn't feel as good as the 2021 did. 2021 just feels so like awesome in hand. And to this day, you know, more than a year later, or just about a year later, I feel like that one still feels really good, still makes me giddy and think, man, that figure is just awesome. And by this one, I'm just kind of over it, you know, and it's just like, you know, I'm not even sure I'm like excited about the burning version. It looks good, but you know, one of the things I said in this video, I really believe it. This is the new NECA in a lot of ways. Overdone paint, a little bit stiff, not quite, you know, the articulation it should have. So, you know, yeah, a little bit more expensive, a little bit bigger neck is basically what you're getting here, and basically what this line is fulfilling. And hey, you know what? That's good for a lot of folks. I'm sure a lot of folks are very happy, because I feel like the fans of NECA are basically very much similar fans here, because it's cheaper, and you know, it's more sturdy, solid figures, but at the same time, you know, they've got issues, and so do the NECA, so it is what it is. Enjoy if you want. It's a, you know, it's a fine figure. You know, there's nothing really bad here. It's fine. It's just not doing it for me, guys. Sorry. And there you go, guys. That's my review. Hope you dug it. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you're new to the channel, why don't you go ahead and sub yourself for daily content and diversify your collection while you're at it. Till next time, peace out, peeps.